Over the weekend, I went to Boston Calling, an iconic Boston music festival. I had to park far away because Boston, but there were mad parking lots that were like no event parking, blah, blah, blah. But I might have snuck in a parking lot, maybe illegally. One media pass, that's all they gave me this year. There were these Amnesty International people waiting outside. They looked like they were employees, but they weren't. They were trying to like get you to sign up to dispute gun violence, which it's kind of a weird way to do it, like just to post up outside a music festival. I thought it would seem like kind of culty, Jehovah's Witnessy. They also had these guys out there. They were like, "Hey, you selling your bracelet?"
Anybody selling bracelets? Anybody have extra bracelets?
So the strategy probably to buy one for cheap, resell it to someone who wants to get in at 6 to see the better act. So yeah, salesy people outside. We get in. I get my little media pass at the press check-in. The guy tells me the directions, like, "Oh, hey, you go left and then right." I'm like, "Oh, bet." Right? Of course I get fucking lost. I go in the completely wrong line. I got on the line where all the peasants were, as in the regular festival goers. Like, I'm not a peasant because I'm a media member. They check my bag, everything's all good. They see that I'm media. They wouldn't have let my bag in at first, but they see that I'm media, so I go in. I look for the media place. There's no fucking signs anywhere. I get lost the festival. There's no signs. I'm lost, okay? I'm lost. There's no, like, the map doesn't look accurate. There's no sign that says, "Oh, media here," right? So I'm just walking around the festival. There's no music playing. I look like fucking Joe Jerkoff. I eventually just asked the info desk. They're like, "Oh, it's right behind us." So bam, I go in, and then you can see here, the media tent. This is what the media tent looks like. This is where the elite, the Boston media elite, aka underpaid freelancers for established media platforms. This is where they resided. They resided in these little tents away from everybody with free water, and the porta potties were right next to us. And they did lean.
That sounds nice.
It was. I mean, I don't like porta potties personally, but I mean, I stomached, peeing in them. I didn't love it. I thought when I was peeing, I was afraid of spraying up a little bit.
At least you were in close proximity to one.
But yeah, lots of local platforms, radio stations, college newspapers, all mix of ages, mostly white. The hip hop platforms didn't show up. Some people felt some type of way about, the lineup. A lot of white artists, of course. And that's the consumer base that's going to spend money. And they obviously spend money consistently every year. And that's been a consistent consumer base for Boston Calling. So, I mean, expecting them to do something that's crazy different would be a little, I don't know. I mean,
unlikely?
Unlikely, yeah. Like, Boston Calling, if it works, it works. I don't know. You can't expect them to do anything too crazy. I don't think they ever, I think one of the only hip hop acts they put on was like Eminem. Obviously, yeah. And even like when Meg Thee Stallion was there day 3, it was mostly a white crowd. I'm just saying, whatever, okay? I got to see the Artist Village. There was free haircuts there if you wanted to get a nice lineup, free haircut.
Oh, now you tell me I spent like $30 on this the other day.
We got to see Key and her team there. Shout out to Key. I had her on the show probably about a year ago. Ryan, you never met her. She's cool though. She brought her team. She brought dancers with her. She brought Tomo. She brought Alone, and we got some behind the scenes of Key's performance. So she did great. She brought out the dancers. She got the crowd going. So this orange stage, they had huge stages for the mainstream artists. It was open. It was huge. It was fucking ginormous. You walk in, you'll see it right away. But this orange stage is hidden away by near the porta potties. It's really out of the way. It took me like 3 minutes from the entrance to that, without using the media shortcut. It took me 3 minutes to get to this orange stage, and it's really right by the porta potties. There's about like 100, 200 people there. I feel like they could have done better with that local artist stage, giving them a little bit more, at least give them a little bit more exposure. I don't know. I mean,
maybe a large sign next to the porta potties being like, "Local artists that way."
Yeah, exactly. Like some sign, because it was literally like it was hidden. It was like, it was
what? Not even like a piece of paper written in crayon taped to one of them?
No, it was just like you had to like go all the way around, past everything.
That or you had to be in the know.
Or you had to be in the know. So it's like they didn't really. Obviously, there were people there that weren't initially fans of them that was able to see them, and that's cool that Boston Calling put them on. But I feel like they could have done a little bit better to, I don't know, give them a little bit more exposure to the rest of the festival audience, because there was 20,000 people and 40,000 people Sunday there. So and obviously when it got over credit Sunday, perhaps some of those people could have gone to the orange stage and chilled out a bit and not been in that fucking mosh pit battle of the bastards type of pit. Food. Honestly, the food prices weren't as bad as I thought they were. It was a little bit overpriced, but not like so bad that it wasn't like a Celtics game or like a Red Sox game overpriced. When I was trying to talk to the people at the festival, they were pretty standoffish. Usually when I have my camera out, people flock to me. Well, sometimes when I do, people flock to me. They're like, hey, I want to be on camera, etc. Probably because, I mean, you're not there to be seen. Like you're working like probably a day job on the weekdays. I mean, you're there to just have fun. I don't think you necessarily want to talk to platforms, which makes a lot of sense. Interviews were definitely a scarcity for the weekend. I was in the media tent where a lot of people were just waiting around to get to interview some artists I never fucking heard of, but whatever. They outsource security to Tarian. If you only do this once a year, you're obviously not gonna have a full-time security team working for you, so that makes sense. And they outsourced the waste pickup and everything. Makes sense too. Ed Sheeran performed at 9 p.m. He's very itsy with his image because he has a lazy eye, so he doesn't always like to have his pictures taken that depict his lazy eye. I didn't even know he had a lazy eye.
Neither did I.
There you go. See, I'm spreading the knowledge that Ed has a lazy eye. He's probably gonna fucking sue me now. So, Ed Sheeran closed out the night, did a good job. I left. But honestly, day one went smoothly. We should give Boston Calling credit for that. Day two is the country day. They had this guy named Tyler Childers pull up. This was the country day. They had these Bud Light fucking cowboy hats, or Miller Lite cowboy hats. They looked fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. We got to see Cake Swag. Shout out to Cake Swag. That's DJ Y Shame's girl. She had a sign language girl on the stage with her. Like doing sign language.
Yeah,
with her
no, that's
performance.
cool.
No, I'm saying that's cool. Shout out to Ashley. She went to top deaf school in Washington, D.C., Gallaudet University. Ashley, her best friend, has parents who are deaf. That's an issue near and dear to Cake Swag and Ashley. So I think that was actually really cool to see like sign language up there for people who may not understand like what she's saying. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was talking to an EMT guy, right, and he was saying a lot of the issues that the EMTs run into. People just did too much edibles or too much, drinking. People passing out dehydrated. From whatever else. If someone does pass out, they get evaluated by security, and then they call the guys on the bike over, they do an evaluation, and then if they don't pass that evaluation, they bring them out on like the little like NFL player, NBA player stretchers, and they bring them to the EMT tent. Obviously, Boston Calling doesn't want any deaths or hospital room visits. I talked to the restaurants, including El Jefe's Taqueria, this Polish potato place, and also Dumpling Daughter. I talked to them. They put in extensive preparations. It's actually good to hear. It's day 3. I would call day, and also I ate El Jefe's Taqueria day 2. They gave it to us for free. Honestly, the tacos were just all right. I'm not gonna lie. I gave those like a 5 out of 10.
Hey, don't diss free food, all right?
What?
Don't diss free food.
You're right. So wait, I give it a 5 out of 10, but since it was free, I give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, bang. I also got my little DoorDash voucher. DoorDash was giving out mad free money this weekend. $10 meal vouchers. I got the $10 dumplings from Dumpling Daughter, the $10 chicken dumplings. Honestly, the dumplings were kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. The peanut sauce was not a great touch to that. I'd probably give that like a 5 out of 10, maybe even a 5 out of 10. I will say 5 out of 10, generous 5 out of 10. Okay.